can frequencies, man-made frequencies, hurt the earth, hurt mankind, disrupt everything, cause illness, mental disorders, genetic disorders, all manner of disorder in animals and crops, everything. Now, you guys know, look up Schumann resonance, that the earth itself has a vibration of frequency. And you'll often hear me interchange the word frequency with spirit. So earth has its own frequency, and then you bring in AI technology, you bring in man-made telephones, cell towers, constantly putting satellites in the air, in the oceans, on and on and on. You let your imagination run wild because we're in the tech age. The question is, can that harm us? Is that a plague? Is this an end-time reality? Revelation shows a lot of different scenarios where trumpets and vials and all these things are poured out upon earth by angels. But let's look at what the beast system has been doing. So we were in the beginning, God created heaven and earth. Earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon it. And the spirit, or the energy of God, or the frequency, moved over the face of the water and earth. We know he began to create. Fast forward, he says God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him, male and female. Created he them, and he blessed them, be fruitful, multiply, and replenish the earth. Now people that, like I said in another video recently, you'll hear a lot of people, especially people who have access to the spirit realm, they will talk about a light they're seeing now, and they are seeing the light. They're seeing God. But they haven't got deep enough in yet to see that it is a being that it looks like human. God himself, we're created in his image, literally. I wanted to show this scripture because it shows that we were formed of the dust, and then he breathed into his nostrils the breath, which in original language means spirit, and the man became a living soul. Energy, spirit, frequency, those are interchangeable. Do you understand? Then it says he planted the garden east in Eden, put man there whom he had formed. Okay. I wanted to show this one because it shows us that God is the one that created the garden. We didn't create the garden. Everything was done for us. We were put there to live in harmony, in unity with plants, to have good food with the trees in the midst of a garden with waterfalls and rivers. I've got to see it in the spirit, glimpses, and there is no picture, no painting, anything that can truly show us what our earth looked like before we got hacked by the Watchers, basically. It was the Garden of Eden, joy, peace, whatever Eden means. And you'll note that people lived a lot longer in the beginning of creation, before the Watchers hacked in. We were living, some of us, to 1,000 years old, bearing our children when we were 200, 300, 400 years old. So if you can see how consciousness has had to change since then to keep up with, being parents at age 16 like I was, it's remarkable what we've been able to do and overcome. Okay, so back to the frequency. So we know that the beast kingdom that we've been talking about the last couple days needs a lot of energy, a lot of power. They use the beast system is comprised of AI technology, lots of drugs, lots of tech, need lots of information, need to be able to communicate. It's just a very, very powerful system that needs a lot of magnetic waves. God is showing me that because we have all of that, it has interfered and hacked us as humans. That's why we're so sick. That's why we're dying now so young. If you make it to your 60 now, it's a good thing, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. And this is why we were made from dust with the energy of the Most High Creator to tend to the beautiful system that was in complete harmony with each other and operating on our heartbeat. Everything beats with the same harmonious frequency of the earth and everything that's around us. Side note, dark energy, demonic energy, it doesn't do well in that energy. It couldn't survive in that energy. That's why it's taken them so long to build the fulfillment of Babylon. It's because they can barely stay in the energy of the light. They can't stay in the energy of the light. So it took many, many programs, augmenting humans. It took a lot of stuff for us to get from where we were originally created to where we are today. If I'm right, we're living in the most exciting timeline ever since recorded history. My conclusion, after pondering this for many years now, I've decided to say that the spraying they're doing, everything they're doing, and they're letting us talk about it now, is the cause of all the mutations, the genetic changes, and it's changing our culture. That's it. There are entities behind this. There are machines behind this. There's so many layers to Mystery Babylon.